Hello everyone. In this presentation we'll be talking about CSS templates. Now the nice thing about templates is that there are quite a few free ones out there that you can use, you can legally use to create your websites and build upon them. And they're kind of complex sometimes, but you've been working with XHTML and CSS for several weeks now. You should be at least somewhat comfortable with it and in a position to be able to use these. So I'm at the www.freecstemplates.org website, where they offer free CSS templates that you can download and legally copy into your website, because these are released for free under the Creative Commons Attribution 2.5 license. Make sure and provide credit to the author when they ask for attribution. They also include public domain photos, so we don't have to worry about taking someone's copyrighted work. So if you find one you like, you can preview it or download it and use it. They give you permission, and it's perfectly fine with me if you do so, because in order to be able to work with one of these, you must have some knowledge of XHTML and CSS to be able to make the modifications you need to work with them. So we're there now, I believe, in this course. So another site that I like is Dynamic Drive. This is www.dynamicdrive.com. They have all kinds of scripts, including the CSS library. And this is where I go when I'm looking for menus. They have some really great menus here. And let's say that you like this one with the tab. You can click on that, and they provide you with a demo and the code for building this. But if you don't have any idea how HTML or CSS work, you might have a little bit of trouble, but you won't, because you've been studying this. But make sure if you use their CSS that you keep the line of credits there, and if you paste this into an external style sheet, which is what we have done all semester, get rid of the opening and closing style tags that they give you. Okay, that's just meant to go with this HTML example. So you can copy this into your style sheet, make changes to it, change the colors to match your own color theme, and so forth. It's perfectly legal. Just give credit. Okay, now Dreamweaver also comes with some templates. And when you start working with Dreamweaver, these would be nice, except that they're pretty complex too. And making any changes requires, again, some knowledge of CSS and XHTML, which we now have, so we can do this. This example default.html page was created from a Dreamweaver template. So to find these, we go to the File menu, and you've probably seen these already. File, then New, New Document window, and when you click the HTML page type, you notice that there are a bunch of styles here. These are all templates. They're plain black and white and gray, but they have the CSS for you to give you the layout, which is always the toughest part, I think. Once you get the layout and have the basic structure of the page, it's so much easier to build on. So they have several styles, and when you click each one of these, you see a preview. So as you come down, here's two-column elastic, and here's fixed left sidebar, and then you've got some hybrids. Well, what does all that mean? Well, a fixed width, let's find one, two-column fixed, you see the little padlock. In a fixed width layout, they are using absolute units, typically pixels, and these are pretty much locked in place. The best time to use a fixed unit layout is when you have a very complicated design that you don't want to expand or contract or float around. Otherwise, they're not as accessible, and you might want to try to avoid them if you can. I used to use fixed width all the time, and now I rarely do, because I'm finding that there's so much power in elastic and fluid designs. So we have elastic, and these are in M's. So if you see the word elastic, they're using units that are relative to the text size. So we've used a lot of M units this semester. M widths and M text sizes, so that everything grows and shrinks together. The width, the text, it all expands and contracts together. And then they have liquid. Let's see if I can find a liquid. There's one. And this means that the width is based on a percentage of the monitor, the browser window, and it will grow wider or narrower depending on the user's monitor and browser size. And then they have some hybrids where they kind of mix them up. So what you can do is pick the one that you want to use. You know, maybe you want to even try some absolute positioning where they have fixed the positions based on pixels. That's up to you. Pick the one that you're interested in, and when you do, then you can create your default page from that, unless you're using a CSS template from the web. So I used the 2-column liquid left header. Let me see if I can find it in this mix. 2-column liquid left sidebar, header and footer. I think this is it right here. It sure looks like it. And once that's done, the doc type is set to XHTML1 transitional. That's fine. Layout CSS in a new file. That's fine. Then click Create. And they're going to prompt you to save the style sheet. And it will be named whatever the template is. So you can change this name to default.css, which I will do. And then go to your styles folder and save it there. Well, I've already got a default CSS and I don't want to override that. So I'm going to call this one default tutorial, just for the purpose of this video. Don't name yours default tutorial. And then I'll save that, and then it creates the page. I'm going to minimize this for just a second. And so it gives you the XHTML page with that style sheet attached, and now you can go ahead and replace the text with your own text and modify the style sheet to suit your purposes. So here's the style sheet. And you can go in here and make changes. They do a good job of commenting in here to help you understand what they're doing and why they're doing it and how to make changes. Now, in the next video, I'm going to talk about the way they use all kinds of grouping and context selectors. So I want to explain that, but that's a separate video. Just know that you can create the basic page and the CSS using this template, and then of course save your page. I didn't do that yet. I'm saving the XHTML, and I would save that as default.html, which is something you would do too to save this page. I'm going to call this default tutorial just for this video. You won't be doing this. And that gives us something to build on. And again, that's how I created this example. I put in my own code, I changed their colors, added my image, used Cooler to create the color theme and so forth, added a menu. I created this right here in the CSS. So we're going to be, again, talking a little bit about the CSS in this example in the next video, but yours will be a little bit different depending on which one of those templates you use. It's up to you. Okay, so that's how you get a template that comes with Dreamweaver so that you can use it to create your page. And again, I feel a lot more comfortable with you doing this at this point because you know enough about CSS and XHTML to be able to intelligently use the templates that are in Dreamweaver or out on the web, and that is really, really a good place to be. Anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about in this particular video. In the next one, I will get into the rather interesting selectors that they use in these templates. And again, I thank you for watching. Hopefully you found something in this tutorial of value. Goodbye for now.